this thing. Okay, so see, so at the core level you have your, 1 second, let me take this annotation. So at your core level, you have your hardware, right? What is your hardware? So your hardware is nothing but it will understand only 0 and 1. That is your binary language, right? So how your hardware is going to communicate with this VI editor or this cat command is there, right? Or your sort command is there. Who is typing this cat command and sort command? You only, the user, the interface. Okay, guys, you are getting my point.
Yeah.
Pankaj, please respond, guys. Something,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I thought you guys are slept. No, no,
No, no.
no. So now it should not be like that. Okay, so the thing is how this command will make this hardware understand, okay, that I am typing cat command, so it will show me a file. Okay, and if I am typing ls command, so it will list out the files. Okay, or if I am doing awk command, so it will filter that particular file. Okay, and who command. Okay, these are the different commands. So who is executing this command? So user, that is your user, that is you, Pankaj or Ankur or Abhishek. Okay, he is going to execute on top of your user interface. So how this user interface is going to communicate with your hardware? Okay, so on top of your hardware you have your kernel. This is very much important. So what is your kernel? So kernel is the lowest level. So you need to understand, after this hardware, which is the lowest level, that is your kernel, right? So what is the task for this kernel? So kernel task is nothing but it's schedule the tasks. Okay, it's manages the resource and it's control the security. Manages the resource means, see, once your system is booted up, okay, so your kernel has the root file system. Your kernel has, there is a overall whole booting process is there. So under that your kernel role is to manage the resource and to mount the root file system. Root file system is what means, your file system slash, yesterday I was talking about slash dev slash sda, right? Those are your partitions. Okay, but your root file systems will be under slash etc fstf file will be there. So under that you have your root file system will be there. So its main task is to mount your root file system. But if you want to understand what is kernel, okay, so kernel is the lowest level, and three tasks it has, that is nothing but it schedules the task, it manages the resource, and it controls the security. So kernel is very much important in term of security. So that's what, while installing we saw kernel dump is there. Okay, so that is one. Once suppose your system got crashed, so where is that backup? That is your kernel dump. You're getting my point, Pankaj, Ankur? Yesterday while I was
Yeah.
installing, there is a term called kdump. So I said I'll explain you in the architecture of Linux, correct? So that is your kdump. Your backup of your system means, suppose if you want to dump the entire backup of your operating system, so that is your kdump. So this is why I am telling it's control security. Okay, and security point of SE Linux is also there. Okay, suppose that is one security enhancement we used to do it. Okay, manages resource means it manages all the resources. Your kernel is only going to responsible for that. So whatever the means, resources wise means your, obviously different daemons or different services will be running at different run level. Okay, so if I can show you from here, let me show you. Okay, I'll take this. Okay, so if here, if first the thing is you need to understand, see, this is that hardware part. Okay, again I am going back here at the bottom, at the core level. This is your core level. Hardware is nothing but your core level, and the lowest level is your kernel. So at hardware level, from the system point of view, okay, how I am going to So how I am going to understand what the configurations of this operating system from the CLI mode? What is this? This is your CLI, right? This is your command line interface. From the CLI, from the putty, if I want to know what is the hardware configuration in my system, so there is a command called DMID code. Okay, if I'll do pipe less, okay, so it will show you all the hardware configuration related to this particular. See, you can see it's a what firmware it is using, who is the manufacturer, VMware Inc, because it's hosted on your VMware platform, right, Pankaj?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, you guys are getting my point, what I want to say. See, all the hardware
Yeah.
configuration straight away you can get it from the DMID code. So remember, okay, this is very important. DMID code is used to get your hardware information. So this command, in my term, and normally I used to say it's a brahmastra. Okay, this command will give you all the detail. Normally if you tell in go an interview, they'll ask you, suppose if I want to know more about the hardware configuration, means what is your RAID configure, what is your BIOS configuration, everything you can get it from this DMID code. Even from this DMID code, let me check if it's working or not. So it's not working. Okay, no, it's not working. So we need to filter out, okay, what all multiple things. So now it's your task. Okay, just search the option with DMID code. Okay, so DMID code with multiple options you will get it. If you, I'll do help. Okay, so it will show you me what all things I can get it with DMID code. Okay, so I can use this multiple option. Okay, or if I'll do man, okay, dmi dmi, one second. No, it's no manual entry for DMID code. Okay, if I'll do DMID, no. So that is that command. Okay, it's not showing here. Straight away through Google also you can search it out. Okay, so this is your task, this is one of your tasks, this is the first task I am giving to you. Use that DMID code and find out what all options we can use it with DMID code to get multiple information. So as of now, if you want to get the entire means hardware configuration, it's related to multiple things. It's not only the hardware configuration. If you scroll down, okay, you can see so many things are, you can find it out with this DMID, your processor information, your CPU information, how much cores are there, what configuration, what platform it is using, what hardware it is using. Okay, every information you can get it with this DMID code command. BIOS information will be there. You're getting my point, Pankaj?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ankur,
Yeah.
clear for you guys? Okay, so this
Yeah.
is all about the hardware part. Now, if I'll go and talk about the lowest level, your kernel, as I said, what is that kernel, right? So kernel has three tasks. Mainly it schedules the task. Okay, mainly it manages resources and control security. But in term of, if I'll talk about, okay, suppose if I want to see what kernel version is running in my system, okay, so you name -r command is there. Okay, so especially I want to see what kernel is running on my system. So I can see this one. Now I'll show you one more file. Okay, before only. See, this is the main file. This is the boot file. This is very much important. This is called Grand Unified Bootloader. Grand Unified Grub. Okay, bootloader. So here also you can see what kernel it is using. Okay, and what image, this is your kernel image. You are getting my point. If this is going to corrupt, okay, how you are going to recover your operating system? This is also one interview question. Or see, once you know your kernel version only, then you can upgrade it to the its latest version, right? Pankaj, Ankur,
Hmm.
Yeah.
you guys are getting my point. If your kernel version is 2.6.32573.el16, I want to upgrade it to the latest version, that is 2.6.32573e17. Okay, so how I am going to upgrade? So you should be aware that first, what is